Mario starred in countless RPGs over the years. Well, not really, there's 15 of them. But his role varies tremendously from game to game. Sometimes he's outshined by a wildly strong supporting cast, and other times he's the catalyst to defeating world-ending beasts. Today, we're gonna look at Mario's role in every Mario RPG and rank him from worthless to elite. Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars is Jumpman's debut in this new genre, and it's a pretty good look for him. The game starts off in classic Mario fashion, with Peach being in Bowser's clutches, Mario coming to the rescue, and whooping some Koopa ass, but the victory's incredibly short-lived, as Bowser's Keep gets pierced by a sword named Exor, which commences the real plot. It slashes Star Road and scatters the 7 pieces of it across the world, while also yeeting Mario to a different island. There, he brushes himself off and sets out for adventure, making quite a few alliances along the way, first with a cloud dude named Mallow, then with a wooden doll possessed by a Star Warrior spirit, and lastly with both Princess Peach and Bowser, marking the first time these two teamed up, and it's for a good reason. The big baddies here are the Smithy Gang, an army of sentient weapons led by, you guessed it, Smithy, an evil blacksmith that can create life. And William Afton vibes, and he's got world-dominating aspirations, so we're cooked. This dude's menacing and dark, so he's really tough to overcome, which definitely justifies the amount of party members helping Mario. Even still, he's the undisputed team leader, is the one you control in the overworld from start to finish, and is a wrecking ball in battle, which is good because he can't be switched out. This is an elite first look for the guy. The original Paper Mario game has the same core premise as the last game. There's 7 star pieces that get scattered across the world and a big bad guy to blame. Except here, the world's all paper thin and handmade, and Bowser actually does some decently villainous shit. He gains full invincibility after stealing the Star Rod, beats off Mario in the early game, and keeps a more than capable Peach contained for most of the story. To take him down, Mario has to travel across 7 lands and rescue each of the Star Spirits from a powerful boss. He's got way more help than before though, with 8 different enemy-resembling allies that each bring an incredibly useful trait that makes traversing the world easier or help out in battle. But after they save all the stars, they come together to bring Mario to Bowser's castle in the sky, where a no longer invincible Koopa King gets what's coming to him. He gets the job done, but this time has far more aid than before, and the stakes just aren't there, so I gotta put this in crucial partners tier. Mario Luigi Superstar Saga brings Luigi along for a majority of the adventure, so right away, Mario's role is a bit watered down compared to the previous games. They travel together, fight side by side, and help each other out of tricky situations throughout. After Peach's voice gets stolen by Cackletta and Fawful, they hop aboard Bowser's Koopa Cruiser for a quick team-up, and crash land on the outskirts of the Bean Bean Kingdom. From there, they're trying to contain Cackletta's destruction while also keeping the Bean Star out of her grasp, because since she has Peach's voice, she can grant any wish if she gets her hands on it. The brothers defeat her multiple times throughout the game. She even has to possess Bowser to gain a physical form after the brothers annihilate her, creating Bowletta. And even after that, they go on to fight her evil spirit itself from inside Bowser's body. This bitch doesn't die, but they still manage to overcome it and save the day. The 1-2 punch of Mario and Luigi is hella capable, they overcome a ton of obstacles together, and the main bad guy is a pretty damn intimidating one. But the scale of the threat is a good bit less than before, with only the Mushroom and Bean Bean Kingdoms being in danger, and not the entire fate of the world. So that mixed with a shared main role leaves this as a mid-tier Mario contribution. The Thousand Year Door follows up the original Paper Mario game in the best possible way, and is many people's pick for the greatest game in this series. It sticks to a pretty similar format too. There's 7 valuable objects to collect, this time the Crystal Stars, and Mario sets out looking for them. Each one's located in a different part of the world and sees Mario get accompanied by a different zany character, but now they've got even more personality and charm. And once again, they fight alongside Mario and help a ton in progressing, taking a decent amount of weight off of his back. And if that weren't enough, Peach and Bowser steal the spotlight now and again and get their own short playable segments, which further harms his overall look. But thankfully, they hardly amount to anything. He's the central character for like 95% of the game. He's the one that opens the Thousand Year Door, takes down the demonic Shadow Queen, and saves the world from being enveloped by darkness. The threat's definitely here, and since he pulls through like always, I think I gotta bump this up to main character tier. Mario Luigi Partners in Time is an interesting case, because it's got two Marios to factor in. With the big focus on time travel and the brothers teaming up with their baby selves to save the day, it's a more complicated and confusing one to place, because babysitting while also fighting enemies is impressive multitasking, but it's also him chilling on older him's back. I don't know. I'm just gonna consider Baby Mario as a separate character here, and rank the adult Mario's contribution, which is unsurprisingly the lowest yet, because he gets help from 3 other people, and the babies aren't liabilities. They prove to be pretty helpful for reaching the areas the big guys can't, and they're fully able to battle on their own, which is very helpful. The Shroob forces are really damn strong, and with all the time travel, they pose a threat to not only reality now, but also the past and future. He's still the leading bro, but can afford to slack a lot more with the consistent help he's getting throughout, so it's going here. Super Paper Mario ditches the traditional Paper Mario format for a hybrid platform puzzle RPG experience, which works well, but Mario takes more of a backseat here than any of the previous installments. He starts the adventure solo, but after convincing Peach and later Bowser to join the party, they become playable for the remainder of the game, and this happens within the first couple hours of the playthrough. So after Mario does all the easy early game stuff, he can kick back and let the other two do the grunt work for once. Now, each character does have unique attributes, with Mario being able to flip from 2D to 3D, Bowser being a tank that breathes fire, and Peach having her iconic float jump, but Mario's still ideal for a majority of situations, even if you can switch him out immediately after using his perspective flip. I think I can forgive that though, because the stakes this time around feel higher than ever before. Count Black gets his hands on the Chaos Heart and plans to erase all dimensions with it. Some serious shit indeed. But even for the final fight, which is against a possessed version of his own frickin' brother, he gets a lot of help from the Tortoise and the Princess, so there's less pressure on him to carry. I think Crucial Partners is more than fair to the guy. Mario Luigi Bowser's Inside Story puts Bowser front and center for once, and demotes the brothers to indirectly affecting the plot by making Bowser's body act up. It's weird. But they still get plenty of screen time, even if it's the bottom screen, and gameplay feels just like the previous entries, and has Mario splitting the workload with the green dude. Bowser is making all the actual progress here, while Mario's a necessary cog in the machine, sure, but feels incredibly sidelined, more so than any game before it. And the main bad guy is Fawful, the little dude from Superstar Saga. He plagued the Mushroom Kingdom with blorbs and obtained the Dark Star to commit all kinds of atrocities with. So the heroes develop a cure to this viral disease while also taking down a decently competent foe and finding a way out of their other enemies' bodies. Some pretty tricky stuff for sure. I'd say the threat level is decently high, but only being able to make contributions through manipulating Bowser for most of the game, and even then only going 50-50 with the Big L, I mean, he's borderline worthless, but we'll go right above it. Paper Mario Sticker Star is considered an all-time low for the Paper Mario series, but that doesn't mean Mario's slacking, not in the slightest. He's got way less partners than any of his other RPGs, and just travels around with this little floating crown sticker lady, and she doesn't do anything in battle, meaning it's Mario versus the world. He has a pretty rocky start though. Most games open with Mario kicking the shit out of Bowser, but here when that iconic clash commences, Bowser wins, and he's knocked unconscious. Bowser then seizes one of the royal stickers, which grants him all kinds of power, and Mario, with the help of a bunch of combat stickers, treks forth to recover the remaining royal stickers. Lots of fucking stickers, I know. It is kind of weird that he needs stickers to perform any kind of attack, but he's the one collecting them and does basically everything all on his own, which is a really capable look. The only thing holding this game back from an elite placement is the fact that the main conflict is just stopping some typical Bowser hijinks. The fate of the world or universe is not on the line, so main character tier really is the sweet spot. Mario Luigi Dream Team is the most Luigi-centric RPG we've ever gotten. Mario definitely feels more like the sidekick here, which is refreshing for the series, but not all that great for Mario's role. He still travels right alongside the green guy, but a good amount of the game takes place in Luigi's dreams, where he has way more control over things than Mario, being able to manipulate the environment and give his attacks immense buffs. It also doesn't help that the stakes are even lower than Sticker Star. They're visiting Pillow Island, that's actually what it's called, and shocker, Peach gets kidnapped, and even though Bowser teams up with another villain, Phantasma, the tandem doesn't pose very much of a threat. There's been villains trying to destroy all timelines and all universes, while these guys just want Mario's broad. With less danger and being in Luigi's shadow, the best I can do is kinda slacks. Mario Luigi Paper Jam is the long-awaited crossover between the two RPG series, and we're not going to talk about the reception, but once again, there's two Marios, except here, there's no second Luigi, so the trio is 2/3 Mario. Not bad. Both him and his paper counterpart have unique abilities that are vital to navigating this world and progressing in the game, and they're at the forefront of this lackluster experience the entire way through, including their massive papercraft forms. But as impressive as Mario is to gameplay, once again, the story is hard to take very seriously. Despite having two Bowsers joining forces, they don't do a whole lot more than just kidnap two princesses, and it overall feels more comedic than epic, and it's not even all that funny. With just a little more to overcome, this could be in a lead, but as it is, I think it's comparable to Sticker Star. He's the main character here in a generic-ass Mario plot. Color Splash returns Paper Mario to his status as a mostly solo traveler, giving him a little bucket guy to travel with and no party members to help out in combat, so Mario's basically a one-man show again. Compared to the last couple games, the plot is a good bit more serious. Bowser's back at it again with the whole Peach kidnapping thing, but this time he's also trying to drain the world of its color by stealing the 6 paint stars, which is the main conflict. The setup sounds a lot like early Paper Mario games. It's not too intense or too lighthearted, it strikes a good balance and sets up the game quite well. Mario's the only playable character for one of the only times in an RPG, and the amount of aid he receives is similarly an all-time low. I would put this on the same tier as Sticker Star, but with how much more urgent they made the danger feel this time around, with the black paint taking over, I'm comfortable locking this into Elite tier. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is way less Mario-centric than the name would have you believe. The Rabbids invade the Mushroom Kingdom, and while some good ones join Mario's forces, a majority of them are not so nice, so we gotta take them down. They're the main opposing force in the game, well, them and Bowser Jr., but he ends up not even being the biggest threat in the end, and that biggest threat still doesn't feel all that intimidating. It suffices as a plot, but feels pretty run-of-the-mill for the plumber. The turn-based tactics gameplay is definitely unique for a Mario RPG, and it works pretty well here, so I've been told. The gameplay is more or less not for me, but I understand it's still quality. Despite there being 8 playable characters and only 3 being allowed in your party at a time, Mario's required to be included in every setup, just like in Mario RPG, so even if there's more people helping out, he's a constant contributor. His abilities aren't bad, but they're nothing special either, and he's completely silent in the story when everyone around him is full of personality. It feels like he's only here because it's a Mario game and he has to be, but his impact overall feels pretty lacking. The Origami King is such a clever premise for a Paper Mario game. All the flat people being folded into evil origami is awesome, and while it sounds a bit silly, it manages to have a more dark overarching tone and still threatens the state of their entire world. Your main companion this time is Olivia, whose brother is the bad guy King Ollie, and she does about as much as the bucket did back in Color Splash. You do get a few more traditional allies like the classic Paper Mario games, but they don't consistently contribute to battle. They occasionally do something helpful, but only when they feel like it, and they can't even take damage. Mario's literally the center of every battle, and the game as a whole, and while the story more so focuses on Olivia, he's the main reason they're able to accomplish anything, so main character. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope features 9 playable characters, and once again, the party size is 3, but this time around, Mario's no longer a mandatory member, meaning you can bench him and avoid him for almost the entire game. That's about as worthless as it gets. Mario Luigi Brothership takes some interesting creative direction for the series. For starters, you no longer have full control of Luigi. He just kind of follows Mario around and has a mind of his own, which is bad for gameplay, but somewhat better for Mario's role, I guess? But then they implemented this Luigi logic mechanic, where he can solve puzzles for the duo and do some incredibly powerful shit in battle, which compensates for that a decent bit. It's an average co-main character role for Mario, but the intensity of the story isn't all there, thanks to lackluster writing, the world as a whole being safe, and them getting a good bit of help throughout, including some from Bowser. Reclusa's a decent villain, but nowhere near the level of someone like Cackletta or Count Black, so he's taken a cozy spot in mid-tier. And there you have it.